So 2020 is about to be over in less than a few hours, so I thought why not do a video on the top 10 best Transformer figures of this year that I own and that I got this year. So yeah, we'll get into that right now. Now, before we get into the list, I just want to say that this is in no chronological order whatsoever. It's not from worst to best. I'm just dropping names and yeah, it should be epic. And as well as that, these are only the figures that I bought this year and that I currently own. So yeah. And so at number 10, we have the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Shockwave. Now, I don't think I'm alone when I say this, but this is hands down the best movie version of Shockwave we have ever gotten to this day. Like, how can you top a masterpiece like this?
You cannot.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything else. This is a great figure. Buy it now. And now coming in at number 9, we have the Earthrise Snapdragon. Now, some people might disagree or agree on the fact that this is a good figure or not, but I don't know about you. I think this is a fun figure to mess around with. I mean, it is a triple changer, so that automatically makes it even more fun because more transformation. Also, the fact that he is using the same gimmick from the Titans Return line. But yeah, this guy's head can come off and turn into a little robot. Neat. And about the triple changing part, yes, he is a triple changer. It turns into a robot, a jet, which is looking really cool, and a relatively nice looking T-Rex dinosaur mode. And I think it is clever the way they integrated the whole Titan Master gimmick into the T-Rex mode. I think it's very clever. I do, however, have my little nitpicks, one of them being his elbows are kind of limited. But other than a few other nitpicks I have with the figure, it's still fun and I do indeed like it. And now coming in at number 8, we have the Studio Series Bumblebee from the first live-action Transformer movie in 2007. And Studio Series knocks it out of the park again because this, in my opinion, has to be one of the best movie Bumblebee figures we've ever gotten to this day. I mean, come on, they managed to make the robot mode as accurate as possible and they did a really good job at that, while also making it transform into a very, very nice, clean car mode. But yeah, this figure I don't think is going to be breaking anytime soon because he feels like a very nice sturdy figure. It's the type of figure that if you drop a few times he'll still manage to stay in one piece. And yeah, the figure feels very nice in both modes. Now, the only complaint I have with the figure, or the only nitpick I should say, is the transformation. I am not really a big fan of the transformation. It's a cool transformation, but it's just not really that fun, and sometimes I do forget a bunch of steps. It's just kind of complicated, and I end up breaking a few parts and having to put them back on. But that's literally the only issue I have with this figure. Other than that, he is a really, really good Bumblebee figure, and I definitely recommend this figure. And now coming in at number 7, we have the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. And can I just say how happy I am to finally have this figure in my possession. This has to be one of the best Optimus Prime figures we have ever gotten to this day. And this is basically what everybody wanted from the start. A nice mix of the live action Optimus Prime and the G1 Optimus Prime designs and just mashing them together and boom, here we got this. However, with the figure representation of this design, I do have just a few small little nitpicks of it. For example, if you move the feet just a little bit, the tabs at the lower legs do have a tendency to just untab, and yeah, that can be annoying at times. The hands are supposed to be blue instead of black. And the truck mode is inaccurate to what we actually did see in the Bumblebee movie. But I can look past those because they're nitpicks, and overall this is a very, very awesome and fun figure to just mess around with. And now coming in at number 6, we have the Studio Series Devastator. And I just gotta say, the trip to collecting all 8 of the Constructicons and combining them into Studio Series Devastator was a very fun trip at that. Now, I know a lot of people either love or hate this figure because, well, a lot of people keep complaining that, oh, it's not on all 4 legs, or it's, you know, it's just not movie accurate or something like that. Well, first off, there are different modifications to put the Studio Series Devastator on all 4 legs. And me personally, I just don't care because the Studio Series Devastator is still an epic, just ginormous figure to mess around with. I love it. I love it so much. And not only did they manage to make Studio Series Devastator look really nice, they actually managed to make each individual Constructicon look fantastic and very movie accurate. And each individual Constructicon is just fun in their own way. And yeah, I have nothing else to say other than let's move on to number 5. And at number 5, we have the Siege/Earthrise Astro Train. But yeah, as you all know, I forgot to mention, but I recently started my War for Cybertron Trilogy collection. And so far, Earthrise Astro Train / the Siege Astro Train, I got the Earthrise one, has to be one of my more favorite figures out of the War for Cybertron Trilogy line so far. I think he just has a lot of playability with him. Like, not only is he a triple changer, but he also has like a super robot mode, which they did not have to do, but they did anyway, and I honestly don't mind it. Some people don't like the fact that he has a bunch of accessories. I personally do like the fact that he has a lot of accessories because that just means more playability factor with it, and I love it. I love it. But yeah, I guess the main reason why I love this figure so much is because he has a lot of playability factor with him, and yeah. And so coming in at number 4, we have the Earthrise Megatron. And now before all of you click off the video for me liking one of the worst looking Earthrise figures in the toy line, let me just explain myself. I didn't get that many figures for this year, so yeah, I had to put someone on the list, and yeah, I do enjoy this figure though. Like, sure, the figure is a pretty big parts former, but I honestly don't mind it that much because the actual figure itself is not bad looking at all, and it is actually a very fun to mess with figure. And this figure did fix a few of the issues that the Siege version had. For example, the big flap at the head. On the Siege version, it didn't really have any stopping point. For the Earthrise one, it does have a stopping point, so that's really cool. But yeah, both robot mode, transformation into the tank mode as well, both look really good in my opinion. And I just decided to get the Earthrise Megatron because it looks a lot more G1 looking, and I really do like the G1 designs anyway, so yeah. And now coming in at number 4, we have quite possibly my favorite Earthrise figure in this line so far, and that is the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And no, not the Netflix one, because I don't really like the colors on that one, and I don't have that one. No, I'm talking about the mainline release for the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And I just gotta say, this has to be one of my favorite Optimus Prime figures to ever exist. Like, say what you want about the legs being too long or the upper body being a little too short, I don't care. I love this Optimus Prime figure so much. It's such a good figure to handle. And if I'm being honest, for me anyways, this figure has little to no issues whatsoever. Also, when I was going to transform this figure, I was actually expecting a very complex transformation, but no, it wasn't even that complex at all. It was actually very fun. It was a short transformation, but it was still very fun, and yeah, I just enjoy this figure a lot. And yes, I do prefer this figure over the Siege Optimus Prime. And yeah, both the robot mode and the truck mode of the Earthrise Optimus Prime is epic. And yeah, me personally, I just think this entire figure is breathtaking. And now coming in at number 2, we have the Netflix Earthrise Bumblebee. And I just gotta say that I am so relieved to finally have this figure in my possession because this took me about 5 to 6 months to find. I am also currently on the hunt for the Netflix Earthrise Soundwave, so hopefully I find that too. But for now, I have the Netflix Earthrise Bumblebee, and I am honestly very happy with this figure. Not only because it took 6 months to finally have him in my possession, but also because he's just a fun to mess around with figure overall. Sure, he is just a heavy retool of the Earthrise Cliff Jumper, and the fact that he's a parts former, I still can't deny that this is a fun to mess around with figure. Like, not to mention, he just looks very good in the collection overall. But yeah, he's just a fun figure to mess with. And I can honestly just forget or just ignore the whole parts forming aspect. And now coming in at number 1, we have the Earthrise Wheeljack. Now, I know a lot of people either love or hate this figure. Me personally, I'm one of the people that do like this figure because I do think it's a fun to mess around with figure. Like, you can really get him into some cool poses, especially with all that ankle articulation too. Now, the only real problem I have with the figure are the pieces that are in the legs that do pop off very easily, because not only do they pop off very easily, but there has been reports and all that saying that they do actually break and snap off. Which is unfortunate, but you just gotta be careful when transforming it with that piece, and once you do, the figure overall is just very fun. But yeah, both Robot and Vehicle Mode look really nice and are very faithful to what we did see of Wheeljack in G1 and is very faithful to the original G1 design. And yeah, that's gonna basically do it for this list of my top 10 favorite Transformer figures of this year. Or should I say the ones that I bought this year. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, and this is gonna be my final video of 2020. But yeah, let's be real, none of us like 2020, and hopefully 2021 treats us a bit better. And hopefully the new Studio Series and Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom figures are all epic in 2021. But that's enough from me. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know your top 5, top 10, top 20, top whatever list of your favorite Transformer figures this year, or just your thoughts about 2020 as a whole. And if you liked the video, click the like button. If you want, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And click the notification bell so you won't miss videos like this. And I'll see you all in the next video. So as always, stay home, stay safe, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy New Year, and bye-bye.